Right now, there is a real scenario in which the Democrats take back the Senate. That would open the door to a possible impeachment of President Trump. And this is not just speculation. It comes directly from how the polling data changes when you adjust it correctly since January. In this video, I'll show you why the probability is already close to 40%, which is much higher than most public forecasts, and what the data is actually telling us about where the race is heading. I'll explain why this may happen and what are the chances that the Democrats may actually end up winning the Senate this year.
Starting with the seats that are up for election, we have a lot of them, okay? We have 35 seats. Two out of the 35 are special elections in Ohio to replace Vice President J.D. Vance, and also in Florida to replace Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. And we do have the other 33 that are normal. So we're gonna start with the ones that are safe for the parties, okay? Let's call it Illinois for the Democrats, Colorado, New Mexico, I would say Oregon, also Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, even though New Jersey is trending Republican. That is true, but with a recent result we got in the gubernatorial race last year, the Democrats were able to win with Mikey Sherrill with a great margin. I didn't expect that at all. So I would say that right now New Jersey is a likely, or I would say a very likely Democratic result. Also in Virginia, and I think that's it, apart from Minnesota, and I think I will live like this. The other ones are the safe for the Republicans. I would say South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, even though Kansas can have a Democratic governor, okay, can have a Democratic governor, but this is topic for another video of the gubernatorial races. Today's about the Senate, okay, and also Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, North Carolina, and I'll leave like this, maybe, also New Hampshire for the Democrats, and I'll leave like this. Why? Because the other 9 are I would consider right now the other 9 as competitive states. Start with, I already have a video about Ohio, and right now the polls we have, I don't know, maybe I can check here Ohio if we do have any new poll. Here, Huston against Brown, we don't have a new poll, but I would say that Huston right now, I would say that Brown, even though Huston has an advantage in this Emerson poll, I would say that right now this Ohio is going to go to the Democrats, because after December, President Trump's approval rating continues to worsen even more, as you can see here. It's now at 12.7 down. It's the largest since January, but if you compare here, this was 13, and right now it's 13 again, and here it was 7. So it start to deteriorating even faster, and that means President Trump will have even more difficulties during the rest of his term. Of course, this happens with every president. It's not something particularly with President Trump. It's something that happens with every president. I would say that I'll start with Michigan. Michigan will go towards the Republican Party. Why I'm saying this? Because we have 2 candidates in the state of Michigan, okay? We have a Democratic candidate, we can check here. We have the Democratic primary, very competitive scenario between 3 candidates, McMorrow, Stevens, and Del Sayed. We have 3 very important candidates in the Michigan primary. We'll talk about that in the next video, later, because this is a very important primary. But as you can see here right now, Stevens ahead, but Rogers McMorrow, which you have here, Rogers ahead, and El Sayed, he's even ahead more. We have in the gubernatorial race an independent running, and here we have a very competitive primary, and this could mean that the Democratic candidate chose here. The Democratic candidate chosen here is probably not the one who will get the highest support, and with a party a lot divided, that might not be the best case to be into. And that's why I think this will be a win for the Republicans, even though it's a very far-fetched scenario, to be honest. But I will leave like this. I may be I may be wrong, and I will tell you in the video later if I'm wrong. I'm sorry just for the voice, because I had a little bit of a cold, and that's why I have the voice like this. Also, Georgia will stay Democratic. I mean, Jon Ossoff is a fantastic senator in terms of the approval rating. Okay, I don't know if he's actually doing a great job, and that is up for you to decide. But right now, in terms of his approval rating, he's doing great, and the suspected rate will have Collins versus Ossoff right now. Ossoff is leading plus 2.3. That's why I'm saying that Ossoff will probably win, not just according to polls, but according to the way he was able to win in 2020. Look at this. He was able to win against David Perdue, which was a strong incumbent at that time, and Georgia was a more red state than now. At least that's my view. I know Georgia went for Biden in 2020, then in 2024, but the transformation inside Atlanta's suburbs is now even faster. It's happening faster than it happened in 2020. I mean, look, Fayette County just right here is it's gonna go for Ossoff this time. There's no point in believing otherwise. And I would say even with a higher turnout, Democrats aren't unhappy with the Trump administration. Maybe we can have a surprise, and Ossoff will win like by 2 to 5 or even higher than that. I would say 7. That is my best prediction. Alaska, I would still say was going to go Republican, even though maybe former Congresswoman from Alaska from the Democratic Party might run there, but that's just speculation. We don't know anything about it. And now we have still a lot of states. I mean, in Maine, I think the Democrats going to win because of the candidate. I mean, they have a very important candidate. I have a video, and I'll leave the video right now for you to watch about Maine, especially dedicated about Maine. And right now, as you can see here, Mills is expected to win, but I don't believe this, to be honest. I think Platter is going to win the primary, and that's what I'm saying, that the Democratic Party is going to win, because Platter is the one that has the advantage, as you can see right here. And that's my opinion, of course. You can have yours. And now we have Florida. Of course, Florida will go Republican. I don't know why I'm not saying that. It's not competitive. I'm sorry about that. I just forgot about Florida. Sorry about the people of, sorry to the people of Florida. I'm sorry. And we have North Carolina will go to the Democrats. I'm sorry, not Tennessee, for God's sake. North Carolina is going to go to the Democratic Party, has an amazing candidate. Roy Cooper, former governor of the state of North Carolina, has a beautiful funding, $18 million already collected. And that's like, I don't know, more than three times the amount the Republican has collected so far. And as you can see here, the polls, it's just to the Democratic Party right now. 8.6. I know this 24 points for Cooper is an outlier, but even if you take that, it'll still give you a 7 points lead or so. Or 6 points lead or so. And that's why I'm saying that Roy Cooper is going to win, because he was a great governor. He was able to win election. He was able to win his first election in 2016 when Trump was elected, and Trump won North Carolina by around 3 points in 2016, and he was still able to win that. Now we have Iowa and Texas. I'll say Iowa will stay Republican, okay? But now Texas, and this is the big thing I'm saying here. Texas will go towards the Democratic Party. That's my prediction. Blue Texas. I mean, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Far from that. I'm an independent. But I'm just saying that Texas right now, that's my prediction. You can say yours in the comments. Maybe Michigan, I'm being too far-fetched. Or maybe you can see something like this. Or maybe you can see something like this. So this might be your prediction if you say, Michigan will go towards the Democrats. I'm just saying, counting on the division of the Democratic Party inside the primary, and that might result in a lower turnout by the Democratic Party in November. That's why I'm saying. But according to this, we have a 50-50 Senate, but it's possible this happens, and it's also possible that this happens, okay? And also maybe like this. But right now, I'm saying this will be the prediction. Brown is a great candidate, probably going to win in Ohio. North Carolina, Roy Cooper is an amazing candidate. He's probably going to win in North Carolina. I mean, I don't know about Platter in Maine. If it is Mills, the governor of Maine, probably it's going to be a harder task for the Democrats. And maybe Susan Collins can be re-elected for another term. And in Texas, we don't know who's going to be the candidate. If it is Cornyn in the Texas primary, don't forget, early voting is starting in about, I don't know, 2 days from now or 3 days from now. It's starting very soon in Texas and also in North Carolina for the primaries. But in the primary, and I'm going to show to you again, I already have a video about this. I'm not going to be talking about this too much because I need to move on for another topic. But as you can see here, in the Republican primary, Paxton is now expected to win by 2. But if Paxton wins, Paxton loses. And if Cornyn wins, Cornyn wins. I mean, you understood what I said. It's basically, Paxton is, in terms of policy, it's more friendly to the MAGA Trump, the MAGA party, if you will. But Paxton is a worse candidate, because he's not able to catch all of those independents that are crucial for the Republicans to win, especially in the period that it's very, very hard for Republicans to get any approval rating, to be honest, and getting the independents to vote. What is important here is you gather yourself to vote, because that's very important. Forget, early voting is starting tomorrow in North Carolina for the primaries, and it's starting on Texas in about 3-4 days from now. Also have primaries in Arkansas in the 3rd of March, and I know you may not think, oh yeah, Arkansas doesn't matter, but it matters. It's a seat, and you also want to win Arkansas. I mean, it's of course Republican, but we never know. I mean, I'm just kidding. Of course, it's going to be Republican, as you can see here. We don't even have a Democratic candidate. Of course, it's a Libertarian, but I mean, Harrington probably got all the support from the Democratic people, and it was a presidential year, which is better in terms of turnout, of course. But Tom Till is now resigned in North Carolina, so I'm going to have That's why probably gonna have a new Democratic senator for the first time since 2008. Kay Hagan was the last Democratic senator from North Carolina, and that's it. I think just a little bit of prediction. I can see some variables. Maybe the Republicans can hang out to this and without winning Michigan. Maybe they can hang out North Carolina. No, that's not happening. Maybe Maine if Mills wins, but North Carolina, I think that's the one that will actually flip, and maybe Texas. Right now, this will be my end prediction. I'm sorry, I'm just messing with some stuff like this, and we're still missing one. So this is my end prediction. 50-50 means the Republicans have the advantage. I probably can be wrong about Michigan, but my target until we go to the 2026 election, the last prediction I have towards the Senate is to reach at least the 48 out of 50 races. Correct. That's my prediction. Oh, that's my goal. Guys, this was the video. I hope you have liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like down below the video, because that will help the channel grow even faster. And thank you all for the support, and we'll see you on Friday. Thank you.